It's the end of another month already, so it's time for another tier list. This might be my most accurate one to date, so you legally can't be upset at the end result. Let's jump right into it. Mario & Luigi is a series I've really enjoyed as a kid. I played every entry in the series, except Dream Team for some reason, as I grew up. Overall, it's a very solid series with only one entry being not good, and even that one's just mediocre, not awful. Thankfully, this series never reached the low points Paper Mario did, but that made the news of Alpha Dream dying that much more sadder, as I thought I'd never see this series again. And then Brothership got announced, and I was pretty excited. The art style was fun and unique, and there seemed to be tons of new characters, unlike Paper Jam, which was pretty generic. After playing the game, I can say, yeah, it's good. It doesn't quite reach the heights of the series like Bowser's Inside Story, because it has a decent amount of pacing issues, but it's still an enjoyable time. The battling is still very fun, and the animation for the bros attacks are so cool. The new plug mechanic is really cool too, and can add a lot to make the battling less repetitive. The side quests are an interesting inclusion, but a lot of them are pretty boring fest quests with a boring story attached. There are some actually cool and hard fight ones though, that were challenging to clear. I also have to say that none of the songs stood out to me. The music's not bad, but this series has my favorite video game song of all time in it, the final boss from Inside Story, so it had a lot to live up to in that department. I've heard people say the humor is not as good as the previous games, but I think it's pretty funny at times. This one bad dude constantly being interrupted was pretty funny, and I like this one joke towards the end a lot. I think it really does hold up to the rest of the series, and is a great comeback that makes me hope for more to come. I'm putting Mario & Luigi Brothership in good tier. 7 out of 10.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
God, this is a great graphic novel. The film is a great adaptation, but this is even better. It's honestly up there with 1984 as the best dystopian story and the best book of all time for me. Unlike 1984 though, this one's a lot more focused on showing that change is possible, even in a corrupt and broken society. Showing that even when humanity feels like it's gone full fascism, killing everyone who isn't a straight cis white person, one person can make a difference if they're able to unite the masses. I love how it shows that this fight isn't easy and that those fighting it will maybe not even see the end of it. But they still need to fight, and the fight gets passed on to the next generation until one eventually gets free. I like how it even shows this fight is unavoidable through Eevee and may genuinely break you. It's just an incredible novel, and V as both a character and a symbol is remarkably well done. There are just so many great lines from this that work wonderfully as standalone quotes, and it doesn't feel like it's fishing for that either, as each line feels genuine and meaningful to the story. I'm aware our world isn't as fucked up as this, but it's crazy to not see any parallels. It's like people making fun of the Peacemaker show drawing parallels to the Nazi world and ours. Obviously they're not one for one, but there's genuine concern here and evidence that the path America and many other places are currently on is going to lead to the slaughtering of minorities and freedom. Anyways, great read, and I'm putting it in perfect tier. 10 out of 10. Honestly, the weakest of the original 3 DKCs. It's not bad by any means, but the level layouts and gimmicks just don't live up to the incredible ones from DKC 2. Maybe it is better than the original Donkey Kong Country, but since I played it closely after 2, it's gone lower because it just left me with the slightest bit of disappointment. Also, Kiddy Kong is a lame and very forgettable character compared to the other playable characters in this series. The boss fights don't feel anywhere as good as DKC 2, especially the final K. Rool one, and it caused me to beat this game way quicker than the previous 2. I know I'm complaining a lot, but it's genuinely still fun, and I like the whole process of getting boat parts to unlock more of the map. I just wish that part was a bit bigger and more expansive. Donkey Kong Country 3 Dixie Kong's Double Trouble is going in good tier, above Brothership. 7 out of 10. This is an incredibly wacky, stressful, and fun movie in all the right ways. Practically every scene is remarkably tense, more so than any other movie this year. I'd say Emma Stone gives a great performance as always, but Jesse Plemons in particular gives a spectacular performance that I genuinely think should get some Oscar buzz. His character is incredibly well written and filled with so much depth, and he's able to portray all that depth perfectly. The score is brilliant and adds very much to the intensely stressful scenes with just how overbearing it can be. Just beautifully well made all around, and the ending is the perfect top to it all. The ending is just weird enough to not be over the top and stupid, and it adds to an already enjoyable experience. Bugonia is going in great tier, 8 out of 10. A Fall Guys clone that sadly misses the mark. The gameplay just isn't as good as in Fall Guys, and the in-game skins pricing is 1,000 times worse. Some of these skins cost $45. You can buy the whole Crossroads DLC for less than that. It's wild that they ever considered this. The gameplay is addictive, I admit, and there's a solid chance I keep playing this for a bit every day, but having a recap and just so many microtransaction stuff to unlock the things I want makes it feel kinda pointless to play after a while. The boss battle stage type things are pretty interesting and unique though. Like this one where it's just Shadow from the movie as a boss is pretty fun and unique from any other game like this. I also like how occasionally you can compete against other players to get skins, and you do this by getting wins essentially. It's a very clever way to encourage winning and make it feel rewarded when I actually do. In the end though, it's basically just mobile game slop with a slightly nicer coat of paint on it. I'm putting Sonic Rumble in bad tier, 4 out of 10.
I created death.
This is a pretty remarkable movie. I've only read the first chapter of the novel because some things happen, and I had to stop. So I'm not 100% sure how faithful this is, but this does feel like a good adaptation based on my knowledge of the novel's themes from others. It perfectly captures the themes I know the novel goes for, and the characterization of both the creature and Frankenstein is perfectly done. The acting matches the perfection of the adaptation as well. Oscar Isaac is incredible in his role as the real monster here, and he genuinely manages to feel not human at times, while Jacob Elordi manages to take someone who doesn't look as human and make him feel more human than his counterpart. As you can tell, the creature is a character I, as a trans woman, can strongly relate to, and I'd love to do this movie one day as part of my translating series. Beyond the emotional and deeper meaning I receive from it, I love how brutal the action scenes are as well with the creature. Since this movie is mature, we get to see a level of strength and a showcase of power we don't often get to see with strong character archetypes, and I enjoyed watching it. In the end, I believe, unlike Victor did with the abuse he received from his father, the creature managed to stop the cycle of violence and leaves you realizing who the true monster is. I'm putting Frankenstein in great tier, above Bugonia, 9 out of 10. Pretty enjoyable action film. As someone who's seen one other Predator movie, I did enjoy this one. I think Dak is a fun protagonist, and they do a great job showing how he feels, even with us not being able to understand him. Elle Fanning's character is annoying in a bad way at first, in my opinion, but she either grew on me or the writing got better as it went on. I love the message of found family versus real family. It's a theme that always hits hard, and it's well utilized here, with both the Dak and his father, and Elle Fanning and the other Elle Fanning. The fight sequences are pretty solid, and the CGI never looked off to me, which is nice. I really liked it when Dak made use of all the life on the planet, showing he didn't need his gadgets, which makes him like the best Predator, since all the other ones rely on their gadgets and can still get taken down by less advanced beings. I love seeing some of the lore of the Predator species, or whatever they're actually called, and I don't think it takes away from the mystifying of them from previous movies. But I'd probably have to rewatch or watch them to fully verify that. Predator Badlands is going in good tier, below Brothership, 7 out of 10. My sister got me this for Christmas. I know it's not Christmas yet, but I guess she wasn't aware. You'd think I wouldn't want this game either, since deck builders stress me out and I'm too scared for horror games. But I managed to survive and really enjoyed playing this. The deck building is actually super simple if you want it to be, and I never really felt stressed out about having to build the best deck in the world. There's even an auto build feature at one point when you're at the point of fully building your deck, and I really appreciate that. It's all optional too, so if you really want to spend time going through and crafting the perfect machine for destruction, you can. I really like the art style, which changes throughout the game. I love the grungy look, and I love the cute pixely art as well. The story is confusing to just the right degree that you want to try and figure it out. And I love these little live action videos you get in between certain moments. It really adds to the horror aspect of the game and the overall creepy vibe. I think it's just the right length too, without feeling overwhelming or repetitive. It is nice to play more great indie games, so thank you, sister, for gifting me this. I'm putting Inscryption at the top of great tier. 9 out of 10.
I'm still here, you shit eaters.
Covered this one on the podcast, so I'll keep it brief here. Fun, wacky, and all too real dystopian with pretty fun action sequences sprinkled in. Easily the best use of Glenn Powell to date, and while it may lack the Edgar Wright signature we used to have in the past, his style is still somewhat present here at times. The ending is a bit awkward and perhaps fumbles the landing, but not enough to take away from the overall enjoyable time this movie is. I'm putting The Running Man at the bottom of great tier. 8 out of 10. Now, this one my brother bought me as a Christmas gift, continuing the trend of my siblings not knowing when Christmas is. I had a decently pleasurable time with this. DK Island itself is cool, but very lackluster. There's basically nothing to do here outside of buying and playing with the new statues. Exploring this island and seeing it like this is incredible, but like, why are there no fossils or bananas to find? This feels like this game's version of Peach's Castle in Odyssey, so it sucks that this doesn't feel as grand as that in the slightest. On top of that, Peach's Castle was free, and for some reason Nintendo is charging $20 for this. The DK Island bit does not help justify this price in the slightest. Also, this dumbass puzzle this banana man gives you is annoyingly convoluted, and I don't understand how any average person has been able to solve it on their own. The Emerald Rush bit is great though. Again, however, it is sadly lackluster. There's very few levels that you could actually play it on, and for me it started to get repetitive really fast since all I could do was just keep replaying the same areas. The idea itself and how it's implemented is an incredibly smart way to mix up the formula, but they don't really justify the $20 price point here with how little this feels. Had that price point been cheaper, or the Emerald Rush mode included more layers, then I would be able to put this much higher. But sadly, as it is, I'm going to have to put Donkey Kong Bonanza, DK Island, and Emerald Rush in OK tier. 5 out of 10. Also covered this on our podcast. Not as good as the first one, and people's complaints about the color grading are even more noticeable in this one. This one gets a lot more wacky as we leave the school setting and are full on doing the Wizard of Oz, and I like the levels of insanity we get to. The songs are a lot weaker and less memorable than the first one. I have a hard time remembering any of them, and the only one I remember enjoying in the moment and not getting bored with was the one where Elphaba first gets into her new castle. I still thought this was enjoyable in the end, and I liked the ending. I'm putting Wicked for Good in good tier, above Predator. 7 out of 10. I finally got to play this game. I played it through Matt's Game Pass, so while I did explore and do a lot of the side quests, I didn't want to try and 100% it fully until I actually owned it myself. That's just how I am with games. I don't really like the subscription service model for them. Anyways, Silksong is just a better Hollow Knight for me, and Hollow Knight was one of my top 5 games of all time. It isn't anymore though, because this one knocked it out of there. Exploring this huge world is so fun, and finding secrets always made me feel so happy and special. The environments and artworks here are even more beautiful and breathtaking than in Hollow Knight, and just staring at the landscapes makes this game feel magical. The bosses are immaculate and fun to slowly learn. I love how you're likely going to fail at first and slowly get better each time you attempt the fight. I especially love that when you die very early on, like the first 5 to 10 attempts, and you think the fight is impossible, but then you slowly improve, getting to that second phase, then the third, then finally landing that final hit or a one hit from death. It feels like the greatest achievement in your life and is so satisfying, especially with the bosses you've spent so long on. Even these little trials where you're fighting swarms of enemies, sometimes in a very enclosed environment, gives me that same feeling. And after I defeat a wave, I'm like, this has to be the end. And then they send in an even harder one. It really challenges you to master the combat, movement, and platforming, and it never felt unfair, which is always a worry with challenging games. I had no doubt this would likely be one, if not the, game of the year for me, and I can't wait to own it myself and try and complete it fully and get all the endings. Hollow Knight Silksong is going in the top of perfect here. 10 out of 10. And that's everything I did in November. Oh, wait a second, it's Turkey Month. That means you had to have watched...
Go!
Funny, right?
Freebirds.
You already know where this is gonna go. Freebirds is possibly the best film of all time, and easily the best where they go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. That's right, they go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. The movie is just a wild roller coaster of action, drama, suspense, and truly emotional moments. And it gets just the perfect levels of wackiness when you get to the point where they go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. The reveal that Reggie is the great turkey from the Bible is the best plot twist of all time and is 1,000 times more impactful and meaningful than Darth Vader being Han Solo's dad or whatever happened in that movie. And the "those are some angry birds" line is more funny than anything ever written ever. It's impossible not to like this movie where they go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. And I need the sequel to come out now. It's been so long. And I'm scared that they won't be able to start the turducken from existing. I have to put Freebirds at the top of perfect here. 10 out of 10. And that's everything I watched, played, and read in November. What was your favorite thing that you did this month? And of my choices, what do you agree with and disagree with the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to, like and subscribe. Bye!